What's up, guys? Max here with yet another Blade and Soul video, and today I'll be talking about crafting and gathering. I'll be covering 1. How crafting and gathering works compared to other games. 2. All the crafting and gathering professions and how good they are early and late game, in my opinion. And 3. Which ones to get to make some money. Now, before we go ahead at this, you can have 2 crafting and 2 gathering professions on one character. And the first time you really dabble with these professions is when you get to Jadestone village, which is about level 15 or so. When you get here, this is the first real town, I guess you can call it. There's all the crafting and gathering NPCs here that you can take. Alright, so what is the difference in Blade and Soul compared to other games? Well, the first major difference is when you do gathering in most other games, you will run out in a wild, you will kill wolves to skin, you will gather herbs and chop down trees and stuff. In Blade and Soul, you don't really do that. Say this mushroom, for example. I want to get this mushroom. It tells me 4 different spots where it's at. Now, it will always be in any of these 4, or all 4 I mean. And you only have to go to one of these 4 to discover it. Once you've discovered it, you can order it from within this profession for the rest of the game. Okay, so in other games, with this mushroom, for example, you would run out and you would farm this mushroom and you just collect hundreds and hundreds of mushroom by being out there for a few hours or whatever, right? In this game, in Blade and Soul, you don't do that, right? So take this raspberries, for example. I got on these from this occasion right here. Now I can craft them for the rest of the game. I could place order, bam. Takes half an hour and I'll get 10 of them. I will get guild points 9. That is what the professions are called in this game, by the way. They're called guilds. And you will deal with guild rating 1 to 3 in the English clients. The level 4 one is for level 50. So we're not going to touch that just yet. Okay? Anyway, it'll take half an hour. I'll get 9 guild points. It costs 11 copper to process this. You might as well right here to see. And that's pretty much it. So after half an hour, I'll click this button right here. And I'll get 10 raspberries delivered to me. Doesn't matter where I am, right? Super easy. Now, the bad thing about this, obviously, is that in half an hour, you could probably get a lot more raspberries in other games than 10. You know? The good thing about it is, while you're doing this, you can do whatever else you want. You can go PvP, run dungeons, do dailies, or whatever. So it's kind of like a Facebook game in a way. You just kind of order this and go around doing whatever, and then just... yeah, that's basically it, right? Now, there's one good thing you can do with this here. Go into settings, on the notifications there. It says gathering and crafting, order, deadline, warnings. Basically what this means is that when there's this much time left of your crafting or gathering order, it will warn you. So in this case, 10 minutes is checked. Once this right here has 10 minutes left, it'll be a tooltip down here. It'll pop up and say, hey, your raspberries are done in 10 minutes. This is useful for later when, see, this will take 6 hours to order. This will take 20 hours to order. So say you play, for example, you have this ordered, and you're playing, you're about to grab dinner, or you're about to head out somewhere, and this game tells you, hey, you got 10 minutes left on your Morning Glory. It's probably a good idea to stick around on your computer for 10 more minutes, if you can, to get it done, so you can place a new order, assuming you need more of them, right? That's kind of how the game works when it comes to crafting and gathering. You want to kind of min-max your time by doing that, right? Again, kind of like a Facebook game, I guess. Anyway, and the craft, this is a gathering profession, by the way. The craft profession works exactly the same way in terms of experience and whatnot. You just, you know, place an order, you can have the ingredients, place an order, test out the time, test how much experience you get, you know, pretty simple stuff. You can leave a guild like here, click so. When you do that, you will lose all progression. You'll go back to level 1 with 0 experience. You will keep this intact though, the things you've discovered here. So let's leave this one real quick. Bam. And we'll leave that one too. Okay, so let's go through all the crafting and gathering professions and how good they are early game and late game. And I'll be looking through the first couple of gathering ones, but after that, I'll just kind of skim through them because, again, the gathering ones are pretty much all the same. All right, I'll get to that in a little bit there. So anyway, this is the Earthseers, a crafting profession. This is how the crafting interface looks like. It tells you what they need, what they can make, stuff like that. So let's do them real quick here. Check them out. So first things first, Earthseers early game is good because you can make these, and ceiling jumps are really good early game. If you level to 45 before, you will probably notice that you have really low or completely out of unsealing charms. And this is the only way to get them. You can buy these from a vendor too, like an NPC vendor, but they're very expensive. They're like 10, 50 silver each, something like that. This is way too much. Here they cost 30 copper with 2 materials. Super easy, right? Now, that is definitely the main profession to go for the unsealing charms, obviously. These are really good, again, early game. Late game, this falls off somewhat because you kind of stop upgrading your gear. Because, again, you only unseal stuff you want to upgrade, right? So once it takes longer for you to upgrade, you know, your weapon, your rings, you can unseal things less and less and less, and as such, you'll be building up more and more, because you can also get these from daily chests and whatnot, right? Or from various events and stuff like that. So eventually towards the end game, you'll be swimming in this. But early to mid game, these are actually worth it for sure. You can never hurt having this on an alt either, by the way. The other things you can make are these charms. They can return you to either a dungeon or a town. These ones are not that good. If you want to absolutely min-max your money income, you want to like squeeze out every single silver you can make in the game, then these are good to have. But if you can't afford a few silvers here and there to teleport around the world, then I think you have bigger problems than actually making these. You know what I'm saying? These charms right here are pretty much useless, not really worth it at all, not needed at all. It sounds kind of cool. You can rest your party. Wow, that's awesome, but it's just not needed. If you need this to clear a dungeon, then you probably have bigger issues. You should probably learn the boss mechanics instead, or do whatever, right? Get some more gear maybe, right? And the last thing here is the banishing charms. Now this one here is used for an item called a purification jar. I'll get to that a little bit later. And you'll see on this one here, there's a lock. That means that you have to hit guild level 2 to be able to make this. This one here is a scroll, like a paper thing, like a parchment, right? That means you have to discover a recipe. In this case, you have to discover Earthseers Secret Moon Water is required. That's a recipe name right there. Earthseers Secrets Moon Water. Moon Water is where you find it in what zone, and Earthseers Secrets is just the name of it, right? For the profession. Now, in my video description, I will have all the locations for all of these recipes, including this one, of course, and every other craftsman profession. So, not to clog up my video or anything, I'll just put them all there so you can check out where to get them. They're pretty much all from dungeons, so you just kind of grind out dungeons to get them, or buy them from the auction house. Alright, but again, overall, Earthseer is not a bad profession. Definitely good for unsealing charms, but I would not recommend having that on a main character. I would definitely put it on an alt if anything. But again, if you put it on a main character, not a bad thing at all. Unsealing charms are king, and you can definitely make some money with this. You can also make some money with these charms and sell them for the jars for a mirror potter, because they will need these. Okay, more on that a little bit later, by the way. Okay, so here's the Herbside service. I already had this one before. This one with the raspberries. It tells you which guild guilds it feeds into. It tells you kind of what it makes. I can join real quick to show you. Now, all the gathered ones will be exactly like this. So we'll have 3 here and 3 here. Normally, the top ones feed one profession, and the 3 bottom ones feed another profession. Okay? The 3 top ones are normally the quickest ones, say 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, but the 3 bottom ones are the slower ones. 2 hours, 6 hours, and 20 hours. They're going to be identical in every single gathered profession. Whether it's you're ordering fish or food or bones or whatever, wood, stuff like that. That doesn't really matter. That's just for a different profession. Besides that, they work exactly the same, have exactly the same timers on them, give exactly the same amount of experience, everything else, right? So I'll just skim through the rest of the gathered professions and not open this wound every single time, okay? Alright, next one is Silver Cauldron. These make pots in the game. As you hear, the Herbside Service and Fish Network. Now, one thing to notice there is that these are the 2 gathered professions that feed into Silver Cauldron, but you also need a 3rd one, and that is called the Mirror Potters. Now, Mirror Potters is a crafting profession, hence why it's not listed here. It is the only crafting profession that actually makes materials for other crafting professions. So it's kind of like a gathering one minus a gathering part in that sense, right? It feeds other professions. It can make some items for itself, and I'll show you that in a little bit later, but it's mostly crafting other items for other professions, okay? Anyway, I'm sure you've seen these pots. These drops a lot normally when you just level up. It drops from any mob, basically. This white little pouch normally drops one or two potions. These potions are pretty good. They're pretty standard to use when you take damage or whatever. Crafting these is definitely not a bad thing, but it depends how many you have. I had about 200 level 45 on my assassin, so these are kind of useless for me, even though I use them a lot, but I keep getting them as I kill mobs up, you know what I mean? So I don't need to get silver cauldron to sustain myself with that. But if you're low on them or anything like that, they're not bad to craft or buy for sure. These anthros right here, not a big deal, don't worry about those. And these ones right here gives you the bigger potions, restore more health and whatnot. Overall, the silver cauldron is not a bad potion to have. If you use pots a lot and you want to get that extra like health restore, because I mean that's all you have in the game really. You dodge attacks or you restore health with a skill, even though that's normally minimal, or with a pot, which is a lot more better, right? You want to get this profession. I would say end game and early game, it's about the same, because I mean they'll keep releasing content with bosses do more damage, or the bosses are new attacks you don't know about that you'll maybe die to. So pot is always good to chunk real quick in case you need a quick health recovery, right? So it's never a bad profession. In terms of money making, it's pretty decent. It really depends how many people buy potions. I never buy them in Taiwan, for example, when I play there. So it's hard to say how it is going to be in an English client, but I would assume that they can make pretty decent money. This is the tree fellers, the wood cutting. They feed the soul wardens, the meta potters, gives you wood and stuff like that. I'll show real quick. As I said before, they work exactly the same as every other gathering profession in the game. Same timers, same cost, same everything, right? This is acquired taste. This is the cooking vendor basically, or you can make cooking stuff. Requires alliance trappers, green thumbs, and again mirror potters. Don't forget about that. Some items you can make. Let's check it out real quick. Give you a lowdown. They can make dumplings. I'm sure again, just like the pots I showed before, those red potions. I'm sure you've seen these. These drops all the time from killing mobs. Now, if you're out of these are definitely obviously really easy to craft here with cooking or acquired taste. And very, very useful. Restores full health over 20 seconds. You'll always be using these before a boss to make sure you eat this little bun and whatnot, right? Super easy. So if you're low on these, or you just want to make this a lot for your guild or whatever, you know, clan, whatever you want to call it, definitely solid. Besides that, they can make these foods right here, the food stats. Now, if you're a min-max and you want to get as much crit as possible, for example, or as much accuracy as possible, this is your best friend right here to make these foods. Definitely worth it. Super solid. And then you got this one right here, the meal. Now, this meal is used for crafting the purification jar. Again, we'll get to that. But this one here can probably sell for pretty good to a mirror potter, because that jar is actually really good to get later. Overall, this is a very solid profession. It has stats increases, it has dumplings, which will always be useful, even though these are easy to farm, right? It draws from pretty much every single mob in the game. But still, these foods are really good to have. Cannot go wrong with this profession. Good early game and end game. There's the green thumbs, feeds into mirror potters and acquired taste. Gives you like soul and crops, stuff like that. Again, I'm not going to go over this at some point. It looks exactly the same as the other ones, so yeah. This is the Trappers Alliance. Feeds into acquired taste and soul wardens. Gives you meat and bones. This is Prospectors Union. Gives you mats for Forgekeepers and Radiant Ring. Basically gives a bunch of ore. This is the Forgekeepers. Again, you need a Prospector Union for this profession. And the Stonecutters. It makes you a bunch of weapons. Which is very misleading, by the way. Let's go into it real quick. So you figure the Forgekeepers. That's like a weaponsmith, something like that, right? I'm going to make a bunch of weapons. No. All these weapons, not worth making. They're all just not worth it. The Hong Moon weapon you get in the beginning, you will keep upgrading that all the time. You don't need any of these. These are completely useless, alright? What you need this profession for are these repair tools, alright? Now these ones are here, you have to use by fire, and that one at the bottom, you can use anywhere. Now repair tools are always good. I guess they get slightly less good as you get higher level in the game, because the weapons get higher and higher durability. But even so, they're always useful either early or late game. Doesn't really matter. Always be useful. Like your weapon will always lose durability, right? It doesn't matter what level you are. So these will always be in demand. Always. Now, repair hammers or tools will not go for a lot of money per se, but they're always good to have. It's more like a quality of life thing to be able to craft these yourself, right? So if you go for weaponsmith, you can make a lot of repair tools, which is good. I'm sure you can sell a lot of them on auction house. I don't think you can make a huge profit out of it, but you can probably sustain yourself pretty well. And yeah, this is really good to have for yourself though. Alright. This is the stone cutters. It feeds into the radiant ring and the Forgekeepers. It basically gives you a bunch of stones. This is a radiant ring. Again, needs stone cutters and a positive union. Some items, gives you keys. Let's do one real quick here. See what's up. Okay, so the first things first here. These rings, not worth it. Earrings, not worth it. Just don't worry about these. Okay, the Hogmu ones are definitely better. The reason you want to go for the radiant ring are mainly for the gems, but you can also get keys. The problem with the keys is that you get keys from doing daily quests, and you get a lot of keys from doing daily quests. All right. So these keys are, they're okay. You can definitely go this, but don't go to profession just to make keys, because you can make keys just by doing dailies. In 12 hours, you get 5 keys. You can get probably 100 keys in 12 hours if you just play straight, right? So I mean, think about that for a second. You know, like, they're just not worth it. But for quality of life, if you don't do dailies, or you're just done with dailies, or whatever, you need extra keys for whatever reason, yeah, they're not bad, right? The main reason to go these are for the gems. Now you get some of the best gems from here, okay? Now the problem with these gems is that they're random. You see that? Contains a brilliant diamond with a random attributes. So you can get a gem that is really bad, or you can get one that's really good. So it's kind of like an RNG thing here, but definitely a solid profession if you get lucky. If you get a good gem early game, it'll be very nice. It's hard to put this profession in for a late game versus early game thing, because, you know, it really depends on when you get that gem and how good it is. But it can be definitely good for both. It's just a very heavy RNG one. This is the Mary Potters I was talking about before. Requires green thumbs and tree fellers. And this one makes items for other crafting professions. Okay, so we see right here, I mouse over the bolts. It uses for silver cauldron, acquired taste, and Earthseers. There are 7 crafting professions in the game. So that's 3 of them right there. Then there are these refiners. I use the Forgekeepers, Radiant Ring, and Soul Wardens. The other 3, with Mary Potters being the 7th, right? So it basically makes materials for every other crafting profession. The only thing it makes for itself are these jars, which are used for the wells you find throughout the world. You make these jars, you go to a well, and you fill up the jar with the water. And you make these pickaxes, which you use on mining nodes to get the quartz, okay? Oh, and a quick tip, by the way. As you level up, you'll get a few of these pickaxes from a daily box, or maybe a survey, or something like that. Save these pickaxes. Even if you don't plan to use these pickaxes for crafting, save them anyway. As you can see here, this one takes 12 hours to create, this last one here, the Moonwater one. And it's only used once. So if you go up to a node and you smash it once, you get 1 to 5 or something, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, one of those 2 quartz, and that's it. Then this pickaxe is gone, and you gotta craft a new for 12 hours, right? It's a very time-consuming process. It takes a long, long time. So save the ones you get, put them in the bank or something. They're not worth destroying. Second thing is, it can make this Serpent Calling Bell. This one is used in the Cinderlands area for a quest by Old Man Cho. He will teach you a new wingwalk skill. Now this calling bell actually drops from any monster in that entire zone. Let's see. Let me show it real quick here. Now, any monster in this entire zone have a chance of dropping that item, right? But in case you don't get it, or you want to craft it for an alt, maybe just to kind of get ahead of the game a little bit, then you can just make it right here with the Mary Potters. The second thing, as I've been mentioning for a few times now, is the Purification Jar. This one is also used for a quest by Old Man Show, and you get this quest around level 43, 44, something like that. Requires the Earthseer charm and the meal from the cooking, right? And these Moonwater tears you get from dungeons, by the way, at 45. So this jar right here is used for a quest, again, that you get through 43 to 44, and this quest will increase your stamina from 15,000 to 20,000. Very, very useful. You can sell this jar in auction house for probably pretty good profits, but you'll need these 2, which is why the Earthseers and the cooking can probably sell their supplies to the Mary Potter for their own profit, right? And then in turn, the Mary Potter crafts this either for himself or to sell it, right? So that's pretty good profit. Besides that, Mary Potters are pretty much required for every single profession. for these ones, right? Either the bowls or the refiners. Now you could buy these refiners or the bowls on the auction house if you don't have Mirror Potters, but it's highly suggest that you get two gathering professions, Mirror Potters, and then your real craftsman profession, whatever you want that to be. All right. And the last gathering profession, fishing. Now this is not like other games where you go fishing and anything like that with a rod. Exactly like the other gathering professions. This one feeds Earthseers and Silver Cauldron. Let's do one real quick here. As you can see, works exactly the same. There's no fishing rod. There's no sitting around fishing for hours involved. Nothing like that. You just discover these things, and that's with fishing oil and whatnot. These clams or whatever they are. You know, that's basically it. All right. So I saved the Soul Warden's craft profession for last because that kind of ties in with 3, which ones to get to make money. Let's go over this real quick. So you'll see here. First things first. You can make soul shields. As you can see right here. And the reason to make these soul shields is because they will always be a certain stat. So this one will always be crit, this one will always be accuracy, this one will always be block, etc. So if you need to enchant crit on your current soul shield set, these are really good to make for that. Because it will always be crit. So you don't have to like run a dungeon and get randomized stats and stuff like that, right? Always be the same one. So that's good. But that's not the main reason you get this. And these are just different sets, but like a full set and whatnot. You don't have to worry about these that much. Now, the reason to go is for these stones. Now, I'm sure you've seen these stones before, and if you haven't, these stones are used to upgrade your weapon with. I'll show you real quick, like so. They're also used for upgrading your accessories, like this one requires one of theirs. Ingredients requires 1 stone. Now, the first few stones for the Grimoire here will not be that hard to get. You probably get all of them. Maybe you have to buy 1 off the auction house or something like that, but they're pretty cheap. Same thing with the Cinderland stones. And the Moonwater stones, though, are different, right? You'll get maybe 2 or something like that from story quest. And you will need a lot more. A lot more of these. So this is the best money-making profession, as it is the best progression profession, I guess you can call it, right? Because you'll keep getting these all the time. This will always be worthwhile in the auction house for a very long time. Even after you're done with this, you can sell them, or you can, you know, give them to your alt for getting up his or her weapon and stuff like that, right? So this is definitely ties in with 3, which ones to get to make money. Now these ones right now, Moonwater Transformation Stone. I think the auction is actually broken right now. Let me see if it's actually working or not. Oh, it actually works now. There's a 7 gold each right now. Now you can say, oh, it's beta, the price will go down, yada yada yada. I'm sure it will, right? I'm sure it will go down, but it's not going to go down by a lot. They're always going to be useful. The reason is because these are craftable only, right? And the recipe where you get this from, you need these ones right here. This recipe is pretty rare to get for these pots right here. This one you get from a dungeon 45, and you gotta keep running it, and you obviously get to win the recipe itself, and blah blah blah. But even so, you craft 10 of these in one day, and you gotta get to level 3, stuff like that. It gets 100 soul stones, which is quite a lot. And you get these soul stones from doing the PvP faction dailies, by the way. These quartz right here, you get from these mining nodes. You get mining picks from story quest, or you make mining picks with Mary Potters. And the Moonwater tiers here, you get from doing dungeons at 45. Now let's see here. So this is the best combination, I think, for making money. You get the Tree Fellers and the Green Thumbs. Both of these will feed into Mary Potters for the refiners, right? See right here, you need the clay from the Green Thumbs. And this one here needs the sap from the Tree Fellers. You need these refiners here to make the stones. See the refiner right here and the refiner right here. Now, if you want to make these ones, you also need the Trappers Alliance. Now, you cannot have the Trappers Alliance and this at the same time, because there'll be 5 professions, right? You can only have 4 professions, 2 gathering and 2 crafting, right? So you're kind of in a bind there. If you really want to make these, then I would suggest you just make an alt with Trappers Alliance. But you could, I guess, dump Tree Fellers or Green Thumbs, but then you would screw yourself over with the transformation stones. And the stones are a lot more valuable than these ones. Because you can farm a dungeon and get like a crit soul shield from there to use that as a fodder, but you can't farm a dungeon to get these stones, right? So I think that's a lot better. Anyway, these stones are definitely the best ones to get. It's a lot of money. You will need a lot of these to level up your stuff, so they're always good. Now, the last thing with this is that while this might be a really good thing to go for, if your entire guild that you're in, or clan, whatever you want to call it, goes for the same professions, you might be in a bind there. Let me show you real quick. So if we go to crafting here, you'll see. This is the guild crafting, or clan crafting, my bad. I'm not sure what to call it, clan, but anyway. This is the ingredients needed for this one. Nothing special there. If you look at this one, for example, you will need someone in the guild, clan, to have silver color rank 3 and someone to have herbside service rank 3. Alright? Not a big deal. This one right here, you need someone with soul wardens 3, meta parts 3, Earthseers 3, acquired taste 3, blah blah, as you can see right here. Basically means that if everyone in your clan goes for the same profession, you're not going to be able to make this item. Okay? It's not going to work. Now you could say, oh, well, I'm going to have a bunch of alts in my guild clan and they're going to get this down. You could do it, I guess, right? But that might take too much time, or you're wasting spots, because spots are limited within a clan. So having 10, 20 alts in there or whatever might not be a good idea. But again, that's up to you and your clan. You guys do whatever you want to do. Now, there's only 2 items here that require people to make different professions here. But they will add a lot more later. So if I would compare to Taiwan, for example, they have a huge list there. We can make really, really cool stuff, right? Really cool stuff. And later, once you hit level 5, which they don't show right now, because 5 is blank. But this is when you can craft your own clan costume. Clan costume crafting in this game is amazing, okay? You can make your clan costume look really sick. It is very, very expensive to make. But even so, you can really make one look really like, whoa, that looks sick, or that looks really cool for your clan, right? But again, you need to have these dudes to have different professions and whatnot. And you need to have a lot of funds, of course, too, for that stuff. But again, that's up to you and your clan, how you guys want to do with that. But just keep that in mind, that if everyone goes for the Moonwater Stone crafting stuff, you can't do any of this stuff, right? Unless, again, you get alts or whatever you want to do. So, yeah, that's basically how that works. So, anyway, I hope this helped you guys out with the crafting and gathering. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, thanks, guys.